Can we have a huge round of applause for Shri S.K. Sinha ji? I will make a quick correction. It's S.P. Sinha. Now I would like to call upon Shri P.K. Sinha ji, Member IT Association. Dr. Preetam from IT Patna. Shri Virendra Arora, Chief Executive, BEST. Can we have a huge round of applause once again for all the dignitaries on the dais? This is the last session of the day. We have one more panelist, Shri Sanjay Nayak, CEO Tejas. I request you, sir, to please be here. Now I would request Shri S.P. Sinha ji to address the audience. Yeah, you can speak.
Good afternoon to everyone. My colleagues on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I was the last minute addition to this panel, but nevertheless I have been asked to tell something about the government's plans on creating incubation centers in the state. Hello, can you hear me in the back? So I've been asked to tell something about the government's plans about creating incubation centers in this city, Patna. Not that we are privy to all the government actions, but nevertheless I'll try and brief all of you on whatever I'm aware of what's happening in the state in terms of incubation. I think there are three major projects which the government is considering. Two of them relate to creating these incubation centers. One at the IIT in Patna, the other is at the IT. The other one is a different effort which is on part of central universities. And the fourth one is which the private sector, the industry association, and with assistance of Indian Network is trying to build another small incubation center in the BIA premises. These are the 3-4 I would say initiatives that the government has taken. In terms of, I think the IIT, I think you'll probably explain a little better what's the latest position, but I understand you have got the approval of the central government and you're awaiting the Bihar government's MOU so that they can set up this center. This would be principally located at Vinta, the new premises of the IIT, in a separate building with a full-fledged lab for R&D development. I think the BIT one also will be on similar lines with a full lab facility for testing and other things for preparing the products. The one which the private sector is trying to set up with assistance of Indian Network is a little different in approach. What they would like is to do is once the product or the idea has been developed to a particular level, and let's say you have a commercial prototype, I'm using a commercial prototype because you're ready to market that, then to create a business around that product or around that service, possibly need very close mentoring by, I would say, industry experts in that area. This is where possibly this small incubation center can help. The idea is to start with initially about 5-6 seat center in Bihar Industry Association, which is in Sinha Avenue. So we are working on the modalities how to go about it. So that's something which is in the offing, which is happening. A couple of months ago, we had 2 rounds of events. One was how to access traditional finance by the MSME, small, micro and small scale sector in Bihar, and what are the pitfalls, what are the areas we are looking at, which was, I would say, a mundane affair most of the people are aware of. But what was very interesting was the second event which we had on 27th of December, that was access to capital market by MSME, where we talked about how do you access angel fund. First of all, what is angel fund? How do you access that? Then what is venture capital? How do you access that? Private equity, and also ultimately going to the market, creating a market for the product. Now, what was clear, what came apart from, out of that seminar was that whether it is angel fund, venture capital, or private equity, they principally look at projects which have a high impact. The growth trajectory has to be pretty vertical. It has to be very sharp slope. So those are something which one will have to deal with. And so whenever you have a business idea, going to an incubation center, and if you are seeking angel funding, that has to be kept in the background. And there are other, of course, issues managing this fund, how to go about it. But I think we in Bihar are making a beginning. We may have started late, as some people mentioned yesterday in the opening ceremony. But nevertheless, I think we have a road ahead, and all of us in Bihar, we are committed to develop this sector. So I think maybe this is opening remarks. I would ask some of the other speakers in the panel to give their views, then we can have open answer session from the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Shri Sinha ji, Member IT Association, to address the audience.
My panelists and members of IT department, BELTRON, I think few people from university, IIT, and various people from, I think from various parts of the country. हम लोगों ने जो पीछे सालों में देखा है और जिस तरह से आईटी का डेवलपमेंट हुआ है, तो ये समय बहुत ही वाइटल और बहुत ही क्रिटिकल है हम सारे लोगों के लिए। इंटरप्राइज को हम किस तरह से देखते हैं, क्या हम रेडी हैं, क्या हम प्रोएक्टिव हैं या हम रिएक्टिव हैं। आई थिंक इन द पास्ट वी हैव बीन ऑलवेज in a reactive mode when industries या enterprise या development इस तरह की कोई भी बातें आती हैं, तो we are not proactive because this is in the upbringing उस तरह से रहा है, शायद इंडस्ट्री का नहीं रहना या उस तरह के माइंडसेट, उस तरह के वातावरण में नहीं पले बड़े होने से काफ़ी चुनौतीपूर्ण रहा है ये इंटरप्राइज डेवलपमेंट का। और जो इनिशिएटिव्स है स्मॉल एंड एमएसएमई सेक्टर में जो इनिशिएटिव्स हैं उसमें काफ़ी परेशानियां भी आती हैं। इट्स नॉट ए वेल डिफाइंड, वेल सेट, वेल फॉर्मेट है नहीं। तो इस वजह से अभी जो जरूरत है कि द वे द ओपनिंग्स इज बीइंग शोन इन द लास्ट 2 days एंड कपल ऑफ ईयर्स इन द पास्ट एंड present scenario, we must go in a proactive mode, क्योंकि जब भी reactive mode में जाएंगे तो आपके outcomes optimized नहीं होंगे। और enterprise development is always taking risk from one part, analyzing the future, exploring something in the middle, and then proposing for the next steps. In the last 2 or 3 years, closely working with few universities and with industry as well. So what we found is now we have to move in an all-round approach. हम इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, गवर्नमेंट के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, बट सामंजस्य शायद नहीं बना पा रहे हैं। तो आज के दिन में जो एंटरप्राइज के क्षेत्र में जो हम लोगों को ये मार्क करना होगा कि कहाँ पर अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं। जैसे बिहार is the huge human resource capital of the in the entire world. We are the youngest in highest percentile compared to any part, and this is the biggest asset we have. So what this, we don't have other resources, raw materials, so many other things which is related to various industries and for growing of the industry. तो हमारे पास सबसे बड़ा एसेट और सबसे बड़ा जो खजाना है, जो काफी देशों के पास नहीं है और वो लोग उसको परसू कर रहे हैं, दैट इज ह्यूमन रिसोर्स. तो वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, और सरकार ने भी इस कदम को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक महत्वाकांक्षी योजना 1 करोड़ लोगों की ट्रेनिंग की बनाई है आगे के 5 साल में, और उसमें आईटी का भी टारगेट हर एक साल 1 से 1.5 लाख है, which comes to around 7.5 lakhs in the coming at the same time. But what is this? ये क्यों प्रिपेयर हो रहा है? ये प्रिपेयर इसलिए हो रहा है कि आईटी ही एक ऐसा इंडस्ट्री है जिसमें रॉ मटेरियल में ह्यूमन रिसोर्स चाहिए. तो आप एक ऐसे इंडस्ट्री की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं जिसका खजाना आपके पास पहले से है, लेकिन अगर हम डिले करेंगे तो हमको थर्ड पार्टी आउटसोर्स काम मिलेगा. तो दिस इज द टाइम नाउ टू स्टार्ट एंटरप्राइज, लुक इनटू द अपॉर्चुनिटीज ओपनिंग अप इन वेरियस फील्ड्स. अगर इतना बड़ा अगर वाईफाई का नेटवर्क, अगर पूरा दुनिया से सबसे ज्यादा बड़ा वाईफाई का नेटवर्क अगर पटना में होगा, तो उतने ही लोग को उसको मेंटेन करने के लिए चाहिए होगा, उतने ही लोग को उसको ट्रेन करने के लिए चाहिए होगा. तो हम लोग पढ़ाई के साथ साथ इंटरप्राइज डेवलपमेंट में भी यूनिवर्सिटीज को बोल रहे हैं कि हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई, इंक्लूड फ्यू कोर्सेज, फ्यू मॉडल्स, सो दैट वी आर रियली रेडी बिफोर वी आर कमिंग आउट ऑफ द कॉलेज. शायद आज के दिन अगर हम कॉलेज से बाहर अगर बच्चे अगर आते हैं तो ना वो यूनिवर्सिटी के केवल डिग्री उनके पास रहता है, और वो डिग्री ना इंडस्ट्री के लिए सफिशिएंट होता है और न ही वो अपने आप एंटरप्राइज के लिए सफिशिएंट होता है. और हम लोगों को सबसे पहले देखना है कि इंटरप्राइज आज के दिन कौन लगाएगा, और कितने इंटरप्राइज, छोटे छोटे इंटरप्राइज लगने से डेवलपमेंट ओवरऑल उसका ग्रोथ होगा. तो हम लोग को इसमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए सही वक्त है कि हर एक जगह एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट का कोर्सेज इंक्लूड हो यूनिवर्सिटीज में, और लोगों को भी आगे आना पड़ेगा कि छोटे छोटे इंटरप्राइज सेटअप हो, ताकि आपको आउटसोर्स काम नहीं मिले, आपको स्ट्रेट अवे एक काम, you should be a part of the first hand delivery rather than second hand and third hand delivery. This is point number 1. Secondly, government will also have to take some proactive measure rather than taking reactive measure. आप छोटा इंडस्ट्री, छोटा इंटरप्राइज या कोई भी, वो जाके अगर कोई कंप्लेन करे तो ही ग्रीवांस रिडेशन नहीं होना चाहिए. शायद हमको इंडस्ट्री को, गवर्नमेंट को और एकेडमिया को, ये तीनों को एक लाइन में हमको क्या बनाना है, कैसे बनाना है और कैसे रोल आउट करना है, तीनों में जब तक आज के दिन सबसे ज्यादा काम गवर्नमेंट के पास है. गवर्नमेंट काम को अगर गवर्नमेंट शुड रन पॉलिसी, गवर्नमेंट हैज नो बिजनेस इन बिजनेस. दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड नेशनली, इंटरनेशनली सब जगह ही बोला जाता है कि गवर्नमेंट हैज नो बिजनेस, शुड नॉट बी गो इन बिजनेस फॉर बिजनेस. तो ऐसे समय में हम लोगों को अप्रोच करना होगा विथ फ्यू इनोवेशन, विथ फ्यू नीड्स, जो इमर्जिंग नीड्स आज के दिन जो इंडस्ट्री में डिस्कस हो रही हैं, उसको देखते हुए जो पूरा जो फिजिकल वे टू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वे वी आर कन्वर्टिंग इनटू ए न्यू मॉडल, तो उस मॉडल को देखते हुए हमको आगे बढ़ना होगा. मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देना चाहता हूँ किस तरह से एंटरप्राइज डेवलप होता है. वी आर इनटू आईटी सिंस लास्ट 2 डिकेड, और हम लोगों ने एक तरह का इसमें एक्सपेरिमेंट किया टाइम लगा. It is not a very smooth and soon success story for anybody. It is always tough, and it is always easy to suggest somebody to do something rather than implement the same on ourselves. हम लोगों ने प्राइवेट इनिशिएटिव, सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल मॉडल सोच के अपने जगह में इंक्यूबेशन स्टार्ट किया, और उसके कुछ ओपनिंग्स ऐसे थे कि कोई भी बाहर की कंपनी अगर यहाँ पर आके अगर काम करना चाहती है तो दे कैन यूज आवर स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट फैसिलिटी फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट फॉर फ्यू कपल ऑफ मंथ्स. क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम एक इंटरप्राइज डेवलप करने में जो प्रॉब्लम, 2-3 प्रॉब्लम होता है. एक तो चैलेंज लेने की क्षमता शुरू में नहीं रहती है, घर से उस तरह का सहयोग नहीं मिलता है इंटरप्राइज डेवलपमेंट के लिए. तीसरा, फंड अवेलेबल नहीं रहता है. और चौथा, बहुत सारे लोग बोलने वाले होते हैं कि फेल कर जाओगे, नौकरी में चले जाओ, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं होगा. तो स्मॉल इनिशिएटिव के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि उनको चारों तरह से सहयोग मिले, चारों तरफ से सहयोग मिले. और हम लोगों ने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से देखा कि कहां कहां प्रॉब्लम आता है. जिन प्रॉब्लम को शुरू में हम लोग थोड़ा इंटरफेस कर पाए तो शायद कुछ नए लोग जुड़ सकते हैं. तो इट वॉज ए फ्री इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर एज ए स्मॉल इनिशिएटिव, नॉट इन ए वेरी बिग सेटअप, बट हमारे 5,000 से 10,000 स्क्वायर फीट में आज भी वो जगह है कि कोई भी नई कंपनी अगर पहले दिन से काम करना चाहती है तो बिजली, पानी, जनरेटर सहित हम फैसिलिटी उसको देने के लिए तैयार है. बिकॉज दे आर गोइंग टू बी ए पार्ट ऑफ माई जर्नी टुमारो. दे विल हैव पीपल फ्रॉम अस. इट इज नॉट ए फ्री मॉडल, इट इज ए लॉन्ग टर्म सस्टेनेबल एंड स्केलेबल मॉडल. तो हम लोगों ने बहुत, मतलब इतनी बड़ी कंपनी है तो एक ऑनलाइन डिवीजन स्टार्ट हुआ था टीसीएस का, जिसका ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट एग्जाम मॉनिटरिंग होता है. फॉर्चुनेटली दे केम टू अस फॉर ए यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोजेक्ट हियर. और यहाँ हम लोगों ने 2-3 साल पहले 2011 में 6 या 7 जून 2011 को स्टार्ट किया था. और पूरे 1 साल उतनी बड़ी कंपनी को भी हमने अपने यहाँ, हमारे पास जगह कम था लेकिन दिल बड़ा था, तो 2000 स्क्वायर फीट उनको दिया. 2 साल में आज के दिन हमारे 135 बच्चे उस कंपनी में हैं, 10 बच्चे कंपनी के पेरोल में हैं. और 3 साल के बाद अभी हम लोगों ने उनके साथ लीज एग्रीमेंट किया है टू यूज दैट फैसिलिटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. तो दिस इज ए टाइप ऑफ रिस्क, बट नाउ विल हैव टू टेक इट, बिकॉज समय जैसे जैसे आगे निकलता जाएगा, कंपटीशन बढ़ता जाएगा. अभी ओपनिंग्स भरे हुए हैं. कल हमने सुना अपने मुख्यमंत्री जी को और आईटी के डेवलपमेंट के बारे में. आज पूरा देश दुनिया में चर्चा है. कल 261 लोग लॉग इन किए थे, आज 2000 लोग लॉग इन करके हम लोग एक्सेस नहीं कर पा रहे थे क्योंकि इतना जैम हो गया था. तो दिस इज, मतलब इतना फास्ट कम्युनिकेट होता है कि it will become difficult for you to jump in tomorrow the way it took us years together. So it's the perfect time for all of us to move or diversify from general or traditional job to business, because the government is now also thinking in a collaborative mode. The industry is also looking forward for a industry academia linkage. तो ये सारे जो bricks and threads थे, that has come together now, and it is the perfect time for someone to start their enterprise. So let us come together as industry, as academia, as government. हम भी उनके दर्द को समझें, दुख को समझें, उनके साथ मिलके मॉडल्स डेवलप करें, इनोवेशंस के कुछ पार्ट को इंक्लूड करें, एंड स्काई इज द लिमिट. आई थिंक with this I'll ask my other fellow panelists to share their thoughts, और फिर बाद में अगर कोई वैसा क्वेश्चन होगा. बट दिस इज द हाई टाइम, आई एम टेलिंग इट अगेन. अगर मैं भी डिले करूंगा तो आगे जाके फेलियर होगा. तो अब समय नहीं है, और समय किसी का इंतजार नहीं करता है. इसलिए पकड़ लीजिए समय को, और स्मॉल इंटरप्राइज को लेके आगे बढ़ाइए. गवर्नमेंट आपके लिए हाथ फैला के बैठी हुई है. और लोकल इंटरप्राइज के लिए सारे रिकमेंडेशन, सारे इसमें इट्स प्रमोशनल इंसेंटिव फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. सो वी रियली एक बार फिर से बिहार आईटी एसोसिएशन की तरफ से, आईटी फैटर्निटी की तरफ से सारे लोगों का वेलकम करते हैं फॉर कमिंग. एंड वी आर, ठीक है हम डिले से स्टार्ट हुए बट अंत में हम पहले पहुंच गए हैं. एंड दैट इज द मैसेज विच आई विल लव टू गिव टू ऑल ऑफ अस, क्योंकि यहाँ पहुंचने में भी हमको 22 साल लग गया. हम चाहते हैं कि आप जो नए यंग जनरेशन है वो 2 साल में, 3 साल में इस जगह पर पहुंचे. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir, for being so humble. I would now request Dr. Preetam, IT from IT Patna, to address the audience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected panelists on the dais, respected Shri Atul Sinha, members from industry, and dear audience. It is my privilege to speak in front of you on behalf of IT Patna. Although IT Patna is relatively new institute, it was established in the year 2008, and I have been associated with this institute since beginning. Prior to this, I was at IIT Kharagpur. I will share my personal experience when dealing with this young minds at IIT who are supposed to be the best in the world. What I have felt that now the students, the BTech students, they don't want more of theoretical stuff. They want to develop something by their hand. Whatever they have learned in first year, second year, they want to develop something which is working, which you can see, which you can view, you can visualize. And at that point, I personally as a faculty was stuck how to nurture their innovation, how to support them, because IIT being a government organization, we have limitations in spending, and in that direction, the step taken by central government, that is Ministry of Information Technology, and definitely from Ministry of IT, Bihar government, that they are supporting this incubation center at IIT Patna, will definitely help these students, these young minds, to realize their dreams. See, what happens that generally incubation involves innovation and entrepreneurship. And innovation, the key word is catch them young. Because when they grow, the risk-taking capability becomes less. When they are young, they can dream to lead their project. Now, if this incubation center is set up in IIT Patna, students right from the first year, they can come, they can try their idea, and when we feel that, yes, it has sufficient technical stuff, there will be an ecosystem where their innovation, their ideas will be valued by mentors from industry, from R&D organizations, that yes, whether this is acceptable to them or not, whether it will be marketable or not, whether it will be self-sustainable or not. Every point there will be a check. Once they pass through this check, we will have business mentors from industry, from government agencies, who will make a plan for them, business plan for them, so that they can realize that yes, this has a marketable potential. It can be sold. There are takers of their ideas in the industry, and then we feel that in a span of 18 months to 24 months, that is maximum 2 years, they will prototype their product, and with the help of angel funding, with the help of industry, with the help of government, they can go for startups. They can make a small enterprise, and then only we can beat China. See, in China, why they are way ahead? Even a small country like Taiwan, they are way ahead. Because they believe in their potential and they believe in production of their ideas. In India, we boast about our HR power. Everyone is speaking high about that. But what we are doing? We are serving to outside world. Right? Because we don't have any production, we don't have any system where your ideas, your innovations can be realized. So Government of India, and I am thankful to Government of Bihar, who are thinking to make these ideas of young minds, young brains of India to a reality. As a faculty, as a mentor, I always feel that these IITians, not even IITians, the students who are studying in different engineering colleges of India, they have enough talent. Right? So from the beginning, if they are cultured, if they are nurtured to realize their ideas, definitely more companies like Tejas will come. More companies like Infosys will come. Right? Indian MNCs are very few. But we believe in ourselves. If we set up a model like that, definitely there will be many more to come. As far as Incubation Center IT Patna is concerned, what till now we have thought of that this is open to audience, students, that in the areas for incubation, what we are thinking right now is based upon our capability and strength in IT Patna is ICT for intelligent transport system, satellite multimedia communications, healthcare, and of course e-governance. Second one is telemedicine, because India has a very poor doctor to patient ratio. And definitely this telemedicine is going to help to reach these medical facilities to the rural part of our country. That's why we are taking thrust in the case of telemedicine. Definitely wireless technology for rural medical applications that we have adopted to help rural people. Device portability for medical diagnosis, biohazard sensing and machine diagnosis. We have faculties from top universities like MIT, Maryland, who have expertise in this area, and we would like to leverage on their expertise to have incubation in the center. And of course, areas relevant to this region of the country, we can work closely with Bihar government, we can work closely with the local community to understand what the problems, and that can be thought of, innovated, and that can be incubated at our center. Then this is technology readiness level, this is followed throughout the world, that generally from TRL to TRL 5, it is done in academia. Here academia, and from TRL 5 onwards to TRL 9, it is done in industry. So here we need a synergy between academia and industry. And IT Patna is looking forward to all from the industry. We are open to have collaboration so that this incubation center will be one of the best in India, and of course in years to come it will be one of the best in the world. So this, as you see that R&D in academia, that is very much, because generally we say that where industry people stop thinking, where their thinking ceases, academia, R&D people in academia, they start thinking. we think what is required in coming 5 years. Industry generally they work what is required at the moment, maybe 1 or 2 years. So there is synergy between academia and industry is very important to have a good success model for incubation center. Now coming to this ESDM, that is Electronic System Design and Manufacturing sector in India, there are three stakeholders: government, then academia, industry. Government has definite role to play, like branding India in manufacturing, because we are doing a lot of import, and it has been observed that the electronic equipment, so products what we are importing will exceed in 2020 the oil import. So there is a great need for our manufacturing, boosting this manufacturing sector. This will create job, definitely will reduce this FE outflow. Academia definitely will encourage this entrepreneurship among scientists and engineers. We are spending a lot in setting up world-class labs in different departments, but that lab can be utilized for academia as well as to marketing. Definitely academia will involve in patenting and licensing. Industry has a role to play for IP development. They can help for startups, technology-based enterprises. Then definitely we are looking forward for funding. As the funding is concerned, I will just mention one incident. Recently I visited the Stanford Biodiversity Center at AIMS. This Stanford Biodiversity Center is being established in close cooperation with Stanford University, All Institute of Medical Science in Delhi and IIT Delhi. And to my surprise, when I visited that place, and I came to know that that center is able to have 42 patents in 8 years in the area of medical devices. And companies like Siemens, HP, Johnson & Johnson, they just want those IP to be used for the product development. So when I saw that model there in AIMS, I believe that yes, we can really do. That is the incubation center for medical devices. So funding, definitely we are looking for angel funding as well as from industry. Then definitely we need an ecosystem where all the stakeholders will have this localized ecosystem. At IIT Patna we are aiming for this world-class infrastructure which will always have a environment, ambience to nurture this innovation right from the concept to the product level. And that product should be marketable not in India, it should have a mass production, it should be marketable throughout the world like Chinese are doing, Taiwanese are doing. Then definitely we provide all the services that Incubation Center IT Partner is required to become a successful entrepreneur. There will be mentors, there will be sales consultants from industry and academia. All campus resources are available to them. Then we have business and product guidance because the young mind, they need a lot of help. As mentioned by one of the panelists that we need a lot of help. All type of help, that is business and product guidance will be given. We will do this market survey for them, whether whatever they are thinking, whether that is marketable or not. Patent is very important part because we have to see that if something you are thinking of, whether it has already a patent. Because if it has patent, some issue will come if it is already patented. So patent research will be done. Then there will be a lot of reference. We will be given this administrative support, and definitely accounting will be part of this incubation center. So what we are looking for, admission in incubation center at IIT Patna, definitely faculty members will be one of the stakeholders. Government agencies associated with research and innovation with IIT Patna. External entrepreneurs, they can be from any part of India. We will definitely love to have people from this region of country who would like to be mentored by IIT Patna. Students and alumni, IIT Partners, R&D partners, they will be found a sponsor of R&D and consultancy projects, and IIT Partners, partners universities having R&D collaboration in place. We have till now 9 very active participations, collaborations with foreign universities in IIT Patna. Students from IIT Patna, they visit those universities in their summer They are there for 3 months, and when they come back, they continue mostly on the work they have done in these foreign universities. Thank you, and for any question, I welcome after session over.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite Shri Virendra Arora ji, CEO, BEST.
Hello. Good evening, friends and my fellow panelists. I know it is very difficult to remain awake and alive for very long after lunch session, so I'll keep myself very brief and short, and will not take lot of your time. Friends, incubation center and promoting the entrepreneurs for setting up industries is very important for any region to grow. If we see in United States of America, the whole concept of their economy is based on being innovative and providing a lot of entrepreneur facilities to the public, and they have provided them the facility to establish organization, develop business, take business decisions. That is why they are the world's biggest economy at this moment, and a lot of patents, lot of success have been achieved. So if we look at India, that is also kind of a similar. It is also in the similar state. When my friends used to come from abroad in India, they were very happy and mesmerized to see the entrepreneurial ability of the country. They were surprised to see that people here are not actually looking for jobs, and they are able to set up ventures very fast. They were able to open their shops. They are able to, in whatever way, they are able to develop the entrepreneur facility. They are able to show their entrepreneur talent. They were able to. They are setting up shops, they are setting up telas, but they are not looking forward to jobs as such. So India is in a similar kind of a state, but the need is we are able to provide facility to such entrepreneurs so they are able to take it to the next level. As I understand, Bihar also is in that state, and we are now talking of establishing angel venture fund. We are now talking about establishing incubation center for giving facility to such people. But one important thing which I think is important to remember, while doing these projects, is that we need to establish, kind of a panel which is able to take the decisions on the innovative reports which has come to this angel venture fund. And that panel should be able to take a decision very fast, and should be able to support the innovative projects, innovative reports which have come to them. Secondly, I would say that kind of a project management agency which should be established by the government, so that whatever policies and whatever facilities are announced by government which will be available to these entrepreneurs, those the decisions on such aspects is taken very fast, and it should not be that entrepreneurs are made to visit these places, these offices again and again, and there are a lot of efforts, lot of time goes into convincing the people about the worth of their projects and getting the necessary reimbursement from government. Rather, it should be made more proactive, and there is an agency which should be helping them in providing such facilities. Thirdly, I would say the first year of any business is very important. The survival, if an organization is able to survive in the first year, there are chances that it would be able to survive in the future also. There should be effort in the direction that the success of incubation factor should be measured by the success of the entrepreneurs. In the first year, cost would be high, revenues would be less. So it should be the criteria should be such that in the first year there should not be, you know, lot of cost which should be charged to such innovative entrepreneurs, and rather kind of revenue support which can be provided. Lot of government projects are being planned these days. It should be, you know, planned in such a way that at least 20 to 30% should be reserved for people who are working out of this incubation center. Then only they will be able to grow fast. So idea is to keep the cost less in first year, and which can be charged in the later years when the venture has, you know, really come up. So these are, you know, few brief ideas which I wanted to put across the panel and the audience, and I think we should be able to grow and you know, create a lot of facilities, lot of entrepreneurs in this area by these. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request Shri Sanjay Nayak ji to address the audience.
I may kindly be excused for interrupting this way, but Mr. Sanjay Nayak is about to speak as the last speaker of this, and I have a special request to make it to Mr. Sanjay Nayak, and that is why I really interrupted this. आप में से शायद कुछ कम लोगों को पता होगा, शायद सभी लोगों को नहीं पता होगा कि जिस टॉपिक पे हम इसमें बात करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उसकी कैसे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलप किया जाए, कैसे स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज को और मीडियम स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज को डेवलप किया जाए और डेवलप करके उन्हें बड़ी स्केल की लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री बना दिया जाए, अपने लोगों के हार्ट के बहुत करीब, अपने प्रदेश के बहुत करीब और अपने देश में उसकी एक जीती जागती मिसाल है मिस्टर संजय नायक, एंड आई थिंक यू शुड ऑल जॉइन हैंड्स विद हिम. And Mr. Sanjay, I really congratulate you that in such a young age. He is a graduate from BIT Ranchi and erstwhile Bihar. जब इन्होंने इंजीनियरिंग किया था रांची से, तब वो बिहार में ही था. So for that, all the practical purposes, I consider him a Bihari. He is a success model. जिस डेवलपमेंट एंड जिस टॉपिक पे हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं उसके लिए सक्सेसफुल रोल मॉडल है. एंड इसीलिए मैं इस मंच पे आया हूँ मिस्टर संजय कि आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए कि आप अपना टॉपिक पे जो संदेश देना चाहते हैं वो जरूर हम लोगों को बताएं. साथ में अपनी जीवन की शुरुआत कैसे हुई, कैसे आपने छोटा स्मॉल स्केल शुरू किया, मीडियम स्केल में आए, लार्ज स्केल में आए, टुडे इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे यू आर प्लेइंग, यू आर अ जायंट. आपकी अपनी पहचान है, आपकी कंपनी की अपनी पहचान है. इनफैक्ट जितने यंग लोग बैठे हुए हैं उन सबके बेनिफिट के लिए और उन सब के साथ साथ मैं अपने पर्सनल बेनिफिट के लिए, आपसे इतने दिन से जान पहचान है मगर मैं खुद भी नहीं जानने की इच्छा रखता था कि आपकी सक्सेस स्टोरी कैसे शुरू हुई. तो अगर वो भी नरेट करेंगे तो वो हम सब लोगों के लिए एक मोटिवेशन का सोर्स होगा. और लास्ट में अगर 2 मिनट स्पेंड कर सकें कि एंजल फंड जो हम लोगों ने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने अभी परसों शाम को कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव किया है कि बिहार के बच्चों के लिए जो लोग भी जिनके पास आइडियाज हैं, जो भी बच्चे उद्यम अपना शुरू करना चाहते हैं, अगर उनमें सच में स्ट्रेंथ है तो हमारे पास एक प्रोफेशनल बोर्ड होगा, एक प्रोफेशनल कमेटी होगी जिसके की जो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं पूरे इंडिया से प्रोफेशनल फील्ड से ड्रॉ किए जाएंगे, अपने अपने फील्ड के स्पेशलिस्ट होंगे. उनको हम लोग, मेरी ऐसी परिकल्पना है कि उनको हम लोग हर महीने में एक बार जितने भी प्रपोजल्स आएंगे, एक सेक्रेटरिएट होगा, उसमें वो सारे प्रपोजल्स पूरे महीने में कभी भी आप प्रपोजल अपने भेज सकते हैं विद लिटिल डिटेल ऑफ इट. एंड अगर प्राइमरी राउंड पे छोटा पैनल बिहार के लेवल पे होगा, अगर उन लोगों को वो प्रपोजल ठीक लगा तो वो सेकेंड लेवल के जो नेशनल लेवल के एक्सपर्ट हैं उनकी महीने में एक बार मीटिंग हम कराएंगे पटना में. और अगर नंबर ऑफ प्रपोजल ज्यादा रहे तो पहले भी करा सकते हैं. और उनके सामने जो भी नए एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं या नए स्टूडेंट हैं जिनका नया आइडिया है, उनको वो अपना बिजनेस केस प्रेजेंट करना पड़ेगा. और अगर वो ऐसा प्रेजेंट करके उन्हें कन्विंस कर ले जाते हैं तो सरकार के द्वारा जो एंजल फंड की स्थापना की जा रही है उससे उनको प्राइमरी बिजनेस शुरू करने के लिए फंडिंग करी जाएगी. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि सरकार की तरफ से एक बहुत ही पॉजिटिव कदम होगा कि बिहार की जो ब्रेन पूरे हिंदुस्तान ही नहीं पूरे विश्व में जिसका लोहा माना जाता है, और जैसा अभी प्रभात जी ने कहा कि हम लोग अपना ब्रेन जो है वो दूसरों के लिए काम करने में गंवा रहे हैं, या शायद अरोड़ा जी ने बोला था कि दूसरों के लिए काम करने में गंवा रहे हैं, अपने लिए काम करने के लिए शायद ये शुरू की जो परेशानियां होती हैं, फंडिंग की प्रॉब्लम होती है, तो अब सरकार के पास एक मैकेनिज्म होगा कि वो फंडिंग कर सकेंगे। और आपको यकीन नहीं होगा कि अभी 1 महीना पहले हम लोगों ने ये बातचीत करनी शुरू की है, और बीआईटी पटना में अभी 10 दिन पहले एक संडे को मुझे ये कॉल आया कि सर अगर आप आधा घंटा अपना समय निकाल सकें तो हम लोग आपको जो है एक वो प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं जो बिजनेस आइडिया है। एंड 3 बच्चों ने अपने बिजनेस आइडियाज प्रेजेंट किए, जिसमें से एक मुझे लगा कि वो उसमें रियल वर्क है और वो आगे जा सकता है। एंड आई सेड कि मैं जैसे ही मेरा फंड एस्टैब्लिश होता है वी विल ट्राई टू टॉक। तो मगर जैसा शुरू में कुछ स्पीकर्स ने इंडिकेट किया था कि सरकार में जो व्यवस्था है, स्पेशली जहां पे पैसा हमें इन्वेस्ट करना होता है, वो थोड़ी सी डिफिकल्ट होती है, थोड़ी सी ज्यादा प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड होती है। सरकार की समस्याओं में वो चीजें न फंसे, इसलिए हमारा ऐसा सोच था, ऐसा विचार था कि हम लोग ज्वाइंट वेंचर में एक स्पेशल पर्पस व्हीकल बनाएं, ताकि और उसका जो फंड का मैनेजमेंट है उसको किसी प्रोफेशनल बॉडी के हाथ में दे सके, ताकि उसमें फंड का जो सैंक्शन है और जो प्रोजेक्ट का अप्रूवल है वो गवर्नमेंट की जो प्रोसीजर ओरिएंटेड प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उसमें ना फंसने पाए। तो मैं इसमें मिस्टर संजय नायक से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो इस पे भी थोड़ा प्रकाश डालने की कोशिश करें कि जो एंजल वेंचर फंड जो है सरकार की तरफ से बनाने की कोशिश चल रही है उसको हम लोग किस तरह से मेटलाइज कर सकते हैं, कैसे उसको फ्लोट कर सकते हैं, इफ यू कैन थ्रो सम लाइट एंड ऑल्सो अबाउट योर लाइफ ओनली। थैंक यू।
First of all, thank you very much.
Sorry for the interruption. I would like to make a quick announcement which I might have missed earlier. This 2-day conference is live webcasted at bihar.elitsonline.com and it can be viewed all across the world. So any of you, if you have missed anything, so you can go on to this website and can get the information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, first of all. I'm very deeply honored and actually excited that you have given me this opportunity to be here and talk about what I have done. Actually, I have not done all the things which you have so nicely described. We are still very small in a global context. And as I said, I graduated from BIT Ranchi in Electronics and Communication Engineering in 1985. After that, I went to US like a lot of people from my age used to. But then what I did, one thing was I did come back to India in the mid-90s. And there are 2 companies, Cadence Design Systems in Delhi and Synopsys in Bangalore. So I helped set up those companies in India, and then I was the managing director of Synopsys in India. But around 2000, year 2000, I thought, like a lot of us in the stage and many of you in the crowd, that why don't we have product companies from India? We have so much of good talent all around the world. I worked in the US, worked in India, and there was no reason why we could not build technology from India, which could be world class. So with just a simple idea, where I spent 13 years of my career in chip design, VLSI industry, I switched careers completely to a new field, telecommunication equipment. And the reason for doing that was, whenever you create any product, the number one criteria which comes into play is that the market or the customers that you talk to have to be accessible to you. So it's very difficult for someone to sit in Bangalore and imagine what a product would be needed for Japan or US as the first port of call. Of course, at some point in time, you have to be a global company. And telecommunication was about to happen in India in the year 2000. We had hardly got 1% teledensity. We felt that if we can build telecommunication products from India, it could be something which would be worthwhile. We actually started on our journey. We raised venture capital. Over the years, we raised about $80 million of venture capital from all the global top investors, including Dr. Gulraj, who is the chairman and one of the most famous Indian entrepreneurs, Goldman Sachs and Intel and everybody else. But the lesson which I learned in all of this was very simple. I think if I were to split 3 phases of the company or any business that any entrepreneur would start. Number 1 is the idea. While it's very easy and glamorous to think that idea is the most important thing, trust me, it isn't. The execution is far more important than the idea itself. So there's a very simple saying. You would rather have a B idea with A execution versus A idea with B execution. Because and in fact, one thing which I mentioned, I think during lunch also to some people from the government in Bihar is that I think the execution and implementation of how the IT policies in Bihar should be and how you can leapfrog from where you are today. I think you have an A idea with A execution, which is what I think the government and everybody else is a big compliment on. So coming back to the telecommunication industry, we built from Tejas in India, from design, development, R&D, optical communication products. So if you see any fiber optic network, I can say with 99% confidence that if you make a phone call in India, or if you download any bit of information from any source of internet or broadband, it will possibly go through a Tejas system somewhere, for sure. And that gives me a good feeling because not only have we got systems in India, now we are exporting to around 60 countries in the world. Actually, when we started Tejas, a lot of people used to ask, whose technology is it? Because in India, the culture was, you took technology from someone outside, did a joint venture in India, did a transfer of technology, and then you basically did manufacturing. Actually, let me be candid about one thing in high-tech industry. In high-tech industry, the concept of transfer of technology does not exist. Nobody wants to transfer their crown jewels. Why would they transfer the crown jewels? Do you think Apple will transfer their technology to some company in India to do manufacturing? No. What they would do is they will keep the core technology to themselves, and the last 5-10%, which we used to call in Hindi Hoda Giri wala kaam, they will of course be happy to outsource and say you do manufacturing in India, you'll all be very happy about it. So the only way you create value addition in the country in ICT sector is by owning the IPR, by owning the design, by investing in R&D. And I'm very happy to say that actually you talked about 43 patents. In Tejas, in the last 2 years, we have filed 150 plus patents. Many of them are global patents. We are the top 3 patent filers in India. And I can also actually take the liberty of saying that in India, the highest technology award is called the CSIR award, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, given by the Prime Minister across any sector. We are privileged enough that we have got award 2 times in the last 5 years for the products we have done. So what I'm trying to say is that products can be built in India, and instead of the transfer of technology to India, what we did is the reverse. So we actually developed the product, but what we found out, and so that's one part. So in India, building products, we have enough talent that can be built. The tougher problem, and trust me, it is the tougher problem, is selling those products. So the entrepreneurs always get infatuated that, okay, I have a great product, of course people will come and buy from me. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So the tough part is selling. So I think one of the biggest assets that the country has today, and I talk in the context of Bihar also, is our home market. Why China succeeded in the ICT sector is till year 2000. No Chinese companies ever went outside of China. They all first focused on the domestic market, perfected the product, because when you build products, you will make mistakes. Something will be right first time, something will take a couple of rounds to get it right. And using the large home market advantage in electronics, you need economies of scale. If you produce, you may have the most efficient design in the world, but if you produce only 100 such systems, your cost will be very high. If you produce a million such systems, cost will dramatically come down. So what the Chinese did is they used their home market advantage to cross these economies of scale issues. Now, we have the same advantage in India. If you see, today in India we have 35 million broadband subscribers. And India ranks number 122 in the world in average broadband speed to a customer, 122. So if 50 million or 35 million broadband subscribers want to become 200 million broadband subscribers say in 3 to 5 years, from 122 rank in terms of broadband speed, even if you go to top 50, look at the kind of data traffic which will get generated, look at the kind of services which can be enabled on this infrastructure, look at the kind of economic impact we can have, e-commerce impact, education, deliveries and everything. So to me, the most important thing that entrepreneurs looks at is what problem to solve. And luckily in India we have enough problems to solve. So I think good news is we have enough problems to solve, we have enough talent to solve the problem, we have a large domestic market in our country. Then what is missing? Right? So at least in the electronic sector, and we started in year 2000, did 8-9 years on our own merit, fighting all the battles, because there are not too many companies in front of us in products. We found out that the way Chinese and many other Western companies succeeded was that their government supported them. And then said, okay, usual rule of thumb is government has no business to be in business, right? I think one of you mentioned it as well. But government has the business to support businesses. If the environment is created by the government, which is what really the job of the government is, the entrepreneurs will of course do the right thing. Unfortunately in India, a lot of those environment issues are challenged. there was an inverted duty structure. So it was cheaper to import products than to manufacture because of the manufacturing was related with all the excise with traditional industries, where because of ITA 1, which is the WTO treaty we signed, import duties on everything was zero. So that was one inverted duty structure problem. Then the cost of money in India is very high. If you really see, it takes 3 years from starting to get to a product stage. Now who's going to fund if you even borrow from venture capital or some form of debt? Your cost of borrowing is very high. You start with a handicap in that. In fact, as recently as about 2 months back, ISA, which is the industry body along with CII in the past, had done a disability study for the Indian electronic sector. And the disability ranges between 8 to 30% compared to China. So unless government systematically takes a crack at solving this 8 to 30% disability and reducing it, no matter how hard the entrepreneurs try, they will not succeed. So what I'm very happy to say, and I was privileged enough to be involved in some of the policy making in Delhi from national electronic policy, national telecom policy, that all of the little policies you seek from the government, they are all homogenized to solve this 8 to 22 or 30% disability factor. So there's an MSIPS policy for capital subsidy, there's a export incentive which is in place for electronics products. There's a preferential market access policy which says that, like you mentioned, that if some portion of the government procurement can be kept at the same price, same quality for local companies, that ecosystem will automatically get created. They are using advantage of our home market. So all of these policies are in place, and I think the execution of that has to become a little bit faster, at least at the central level, I can say. Although at the state level, I think states do much faster. So those are all things which come into place. So I really feel that as entrepreneurs, again, it is our responsibility to work as stakeholders. We'll all face problems, but we have to educate and position the problem in the right way, and things will get solved. So this is really where we succeeded. So the last part was globalization. One should not think of making up SME in electronic sector, because SME is a very nice concept, but electronics, unfortunately, is the economies of scale issue. So we should think, how do we either collaborate as SMEs and create a larger entity in a solution form, or few SMEs can become very large companies and they become the mothership around which other SMEs can solve. So for example, if you look at Cisco as a company in the Bay Area, Cisco has probably acquired more than 250 companies over the last 10 to 20 years, which has been the most important part of the ecosystem. I really think those kind of things have to happen. And in terms of globalization and scale, again, a government's role has to come. The brand of India is not yet there in terms of international exports and products, and I think that is what is getting solved. Similarly, I would say all the other infrastructural handicaps which are coming the way, that I feel the governments are doing very well. In fact, as I was saying in the morning also, the kind of telecommunication infrastructure that Bihar government is investing in is a fantastic opportunity, because I'll just give you 2 examples. In fact, I was sitting on the dais when one of the panelists was saying that he asked the question, what can, this infrastructure is available, what can entrepreneurs do? And one just idea came to my mind is that if you really see, there's a citizen service center of delivering services at the significantly deep level in the state of Bihar. What if those people become entrepreneurs? And if you see e-commerce today, if you see the Flipkart, the Snapdeals of the world, they're all restricted to tier 1 and tier 2 cities. If that level of ordering can be given to even a digitally literate person, where he can get the economies of scale, he can get the cost advantage, he can buy anything of an e-commerce service which is riding on the network and the infrastructure that the government has built, I think it's a win-win model, because government can monetize beyond the infrastructure just for government services. A private sector entrepreneur in the local level, staying in his hometown, can actually generate e-commerce, very large scale. While I say e-commerce, it could be airline tickets, it could be zillions of other things. He can create economies there, and not for himself, but and give a better quality of life service to others. And for the business side of things, I mean, the e-commerce companies would love it that instead of expensive advertisement and TVs to go to tier 1 and tier 2 cities, but having no logistics infrastructure from tier 2, 3, 4, 5, you suddenly reach all of those. So this was just one illustration to say, just think differently, and that's why all of the initiatives come together, where ideas are there, entrepreneurs are there. And the last part I wanted to touch upon was the 2 questions that Atul ji had asked, was that what are the kind of things that needed to be done from the government side and in terms of investment committees and all that. So one most important thing is the mindset change, that whenever you're going to have a venture funding, especially the early stage venture funding, there will be failures. So I think if the basic assumption is made that certain amount of failures will be there, this is not bank loans, I mean for that kind of safety net, the banks are there. Once that hurdle is crossed and the systems are set up in terms of investment committee, involvement of experts and outside, I think 90% of the problems will get solved, because by and large, the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem is a very Darwinian concept. 10 people start, the fittest will survive, the others won't. But the fit who survive will hopefully generate enough, wealth to, create the ecosystem for the rest. I mean, if you really ask in the US, for every success, there are probably 10 failures. So I think even in the government system, and of course from the Indian point of view, I think they already understand that if a culture can be created where there has to be expectation, certain people will fail, and just because an entrepreneur fails, it should not be that he has to attach his property, he has to give his personal guarantee, he has to ruin his life. So I think some mechanism of making sure that there is good governance and good use of money, that is one idea. And another very simple idea which Israel has implemented, and I had the opportunity to observe. So what Israel has is something called Office of Chief Scientist, which is having a $1 billion fund available to them. Their rule of thumb in investment and promoting entrepreneurship is extremely simple. They say we have no expertise to decide.
Yeah. The panel is open for the questions and answers. And any of you have any kind of questions, so please raise your hand wherever you are. And
Sir, myself Deepak Bakshi, NIT Patna. Sir, is it possible to start incubation center at NIT Patna, because NIT Patna is also premier institutions, and where their students and are also eager to be entrepreneurship in IT sector. Sir, number one. Number two, we have in Patna सॉफ्टवेयर टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क ऑफ इंडिया, IIT कैंपस में थोड़ा उसमें भी है वो एकोमोडेट, तो वो स्टार्ट करने का क्या योजना है? क्या बिहार सरकार का इस तरह का कोई योजना है कि सॉफ्टवेयर टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क को भी फिर री स्टार्ट करने का, ताकि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को आगे बढ़ाया जा सकता है? और तीसरा मेरा सबमिशन है कि एक जैसा सिन्हा साहब ने कहा कि एक ह्यूज फोर्स ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलप करना पड़ेगा फॉर दिस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. हमारे पास IIIT नहीं है, हमारे पास बहुत सारे इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस एंड पॉलिटेक्निक्स में, वो क्या इस तरह की कोई योजना है कि वो IT सेक्टर में हम लोग स्टार्ट करें? थैंक यू.
आज का न्यूज़पेपर अगर थोड़ा सा डीपली अगर आप चाहते तो तीनों का आंसर था. IIT अपने यहाँ आ रहा है, देर से हम लोग स्टार्ट किए, लेकिन तेजी दौड़ रहे हैं और आगे बढ़ना है, वो भी जरूरी है. जहाँ तक सॉफ्टवेयर टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क और इसका जरूरत था, ये हम लोगों के भी समझ में आया कि अनलेस अंटिल वी हैव अ रेडीमेड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर व्हेन वेयर समबडी कैन कम एंड जंप स्टार्ट द बिजनेस, इट विल नॉट ग्रो. तो इट हैज बीन ऑलरेडी इन प्लेस, एंड कुछ जगह तो ऑलरेडी 50 से 60,000 स्क्वायर फीट डिस्कोमार्ट टावर में गवर्नमेंट ने बना के रेडी किया हुआ है. शायद हम उसको ढंग से मार्केट नहीं कर पाए, या सही वक्त नहीं था मार्केट करने का. अब वो समय आ गया है. 60,000 स्क्वायर फीट ऑलरेडी रेडी है डिस्कोमार्ट टावर में. 1 लाख स्क्वायर फीट डाक बंगला पर बन के रेडी हो जाएगा 1 साल से 2 साल के अंदर में. 5 लाख स्क्वायर फीट बंदर बगीचा के सराउंडिंग में 2 से 3 साल में रेडी हो जाएगा. और ये सब कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट होते होते हमारे पास 200 फिर 25 एकड़ बीटा में रेडी हो जाएगा. बीटा सर मेरा रोड भी रेडी हो जाएगा, नालंदा से कनेक्टिविटी हो जाएगा. समय का जो अभी जो ट्रेवल टाइम है वो खत्म हो जाएगा, और तब तक 200 एकड़ का EHDM सिटी IT सिटी राजगीर में तैयार हो जाएगा. तो आई थिंक हम लोग उसके साथ चल रहे हैं, और थोड़ा और तेज चलने का जरूरत होगा. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने भी काफी इनिशिएटिव लिया है, और इन सारे चीजों से ये IIT में इंक्यूबेशन नहीं, दैट इज इनोवेशन उसको कहिए, इंक्यूबेशन इनोवेशन सिस्टम, तो वो वहां आ सकता है. BIT में भी प्रपोजल है, BIT में भी इंक्यूबेशन सेटअप करने का है. एंड इट इज प्रपोज कि हम लोग बैंगलोर में देख के आए थे सॉफ्टवेयर टेक्नोलॉजी पार्क में पर सीट 5,000 रुपीज का एक सीट वो अरेंजमेंट था कि एनी पर्सन एनी ग्रुप ऑफ पर्सन, इफ यू हैव ए आइडिया, अगर आपका कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट है तो आप वहां पर बहुत सारी कॉमन फैसिलिटीज के साथ पर सीट 5,000 रुपीज का मंथली इस पर आप ले सकते हैं। वो सारा एड्रेस, लोकेशन, सब चीज वहां फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल रहेगा। तो ये एक अभी एक जस्ट प्रयास है कि क्या यहाँ पर लोग इच्छुक उस तरह से हैं जो तुरंत काम करने के लिए स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं अपना वेंचर, क्योंकि अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत ज्यादा है। ट्रेनिंग का अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट का अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, बैक ऑफिस ऑपरेशन का अपॉर्चुनिटी है, बीपीओ, हेल्थ सेक्टर, सपोर्ट सेंटर। हमारे पास तो वही एसेट है जिस एसेट को दुनिया भर के लोग ढूंढ रहे हैं। तो आज के दिन अब एसेट को अगर हम जाने से रोक दें तो यही बहुत बड़ा एसेट हो जाएगा। जो चले गए हैं उनसे हमको मदद लेना है, जो टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनर, वो रिटर्न होना शायद पॉसिबल नहीं है, क्योंकि उनके साथ जो अटैचमेंट्स हो गए हैं, जो उनका कम्युनिटी डेवलप हो गया, वो सब आने नहीं देगा। तो अब हम जो यहाँ लोग हैं उनको जाने नहीं दे, ये भी हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा एसेट होगा। और अगर ये प्रयास अगर सफल हो जाएगा बीआईटी में इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर का, तो आई थिंक प्राइवेट लोग भी आगे आना शुरू हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि वो तो सक्सेस मॉडल हो जाएगा, वो एक बिजनेस मॉडल हो जाएगा। हमारे लोग अभी बिजनेस में जाना ही नहीं चाहते हैं, हमको तो वो रास्ता शुरू करना है। और तो उस रास्ता के लिए अब जगह बन गया है। सरकार का जो मानसिकता जिस डायरेक्शन में मूव हो रहा है, शायद हम लोग से ज्यादा आगे अब तेजी से बढ़ रहा है, और हम लोगों को उस कॉम्पिटिशन में तेजी से भाग लेना पड़ेगा। तो आप जहां भी आपका चाहत होगा प्रपोज कीजिए, गवर्नमेंट उसको कोशिश करके और उसको सबको लेके इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट में चलना है। तो दैट इज द मूल मंत्र।
Any more questions? Yeah.
और कोई स्पेसिफिक किन्हीं से पूछना है तो आप उनसे पूछ सकते हो, क्योंकि ये
If you specifically want to ask a question to a particular panelist, then you are.
No, it's not particular panelist. I can ask questions for everyone. Now, state government has started venture fund and everything. Now it's era from brain drain to brain gain. It's the important things. Otherwise, if we are able to attract talent to work for innovative technologies,
I would request you to please stand up so that the panelists can see you. Thank you so much.
our state government has started venture fund and everything. Now it's era start from brain gain from the era of brain drain. What are the steps necessary to promote the brain gain for the state instead of basically brain drain and everything? Promote entrepreneurship and business.
What was the specific question you wanted? क्या आप पूछना चाहते हैं?
पूछना चाहते हैं कि यहाँ पे ठीक है ब्रेन गेन का एरा जब तक नहीं आएगा, नए स्किल सेक्टर में जो बहुत ज्यादा स्किल सेक्टर है आईटी का सेक्टर, जहाँ स्किल्स और कैपिटल मिलकर ही बिजनेस क्रिएट करता है, तो ब्रेन गेन जब तक नहीं आएगा तो जिस टाइप का स्किल सेक्टर है हमारे पास, वो आज का जो कम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड है आईटी का या टेलीकॉम सेक्टर्स का इनोवेटिव सेक्टर है, जब तक आप ब्रेन गेन का कोई रोड मैप नहीं है तब तक कैसे काम किया जा सकता है आईटी के लिए?
ऐसा है आज के डिजिटल एज में आई थिंक ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, आई वुड से मीटिंग ऑन द माइंड्स, दैट इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट। दुनिया में कहीं भी कोई रहे, वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड, एंड अगर बिहारी लोग जो है डायस्पोरा बिहार के लिए है दूसरे देश में या हिंदुस्तान इटसेल्फ, उन्हीं को अगर हम टैप करें, उनके जो रिसोर्सेज, उनका जो मेंटर्स, उनका जो मेंटरिंग रहेगा हम लोग के लिए या एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए, वही बहुत बड़ा एसेट हो जाएगा। दैट इट्स आइडिया, उनको कैसे टैप करें और किस टाइम में। तो यहाँ के जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, हमारा यही एक गुजारिश होगा कि अगर वो कुछ आइडिया लाते हैं ऑन द टेबल, हम लोग हैं, हम लोग यहाँ पे आज के दिन में CII है, इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशन है, हम लोग उनकी मदद कर सकते हैं टू एस्टैब्लिश कॉन्टैक्ट। उनके जो काउंटर पार्ट्स हैं, उस इंडस्ट्री के जो लीडर्स हैं, उनसे वो राय बात ले सकते हैं, मेंटरिंग करा सकते हैं। एक बार इंक्यूबेशन हो जाएगा तो फॉर्मल वे में हो जाएगा, पर आज भी हम वो काम कर सकते हैं। किसी के पास आइडिया, आप लोग आइए, ग्रुप से मिलिए, विल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड।
तो आप लोग सब लोग जानते हैं कि देयर वाज ए टाइम देन व्हेन इट वाज इन द थिंकिंग कि इट इज बेटर टू ड्रेन द ब्रेन देन गोइंग द ब्रेन इनटू द ड्रेन। तो वो एक समय था। अभी हम लोग का समय फिर बदलाव हुआ, हम लोग ब्रेन ड्रेन को रोकने में लुके हुए हैं और जिस तरह की सरकार की योजनाएं हैं, परियोजनाएं हैं, और राज्य सरकार, भारत सरकार और इस पूरे इंटरप्राइज डेवलपमेंट में जिस तरह का ग्रोथ हो रहा है, वी विल फोर्स रिवर्स बेंडिंग, बट उसमें समय लगेगा। अपने आप को भी एक लेवल पर लाना होगा, देन ओनली विल बी एबल टू पोजीशन दैट। आई थिंक जिस तरह से बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज आ रही हैं, होटल्स आ रही हैं, मल्टीनेशनल्स आ रही हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स यहाँ बनने लगे हैं, गवर्नमेंट की इंसेंटिव्स आए हैं कि इफ यू प्रोड्यूस समथिंग हियर यू विल हैव 30% मार्केट एक्सेस, प्रेफरेंशियल एक्सेस, incentive, backend, rebates, capital grants, so automatically you will get all those positions. You will be searched from the masses. आप अपना identity बना के रखिए, you will be called from it. So now we are into the stop of brain drain position, and soon it will be a reverse brain drain.
Very good afternoon to one and all gentlemen present at the panel. I am Prerna Sharaf from BIT Mishra, sir. My question, BIT Mishra Patna campus. First of all, I want to thank Atul Sinha, sir, for starting the incubation center at BIT Mishra Patna campus also. And my question is angel fund only for IT entrepreneurs or for other ventures as well?
Can I start that, or I can supplement? I think angel fund का जो concept है primarily is the investor होता है, it's his own money. Generally यही देखा जाता है कि angel fund जो start होता है, investor के पास अपना surplus fund है, वो 1-to-1 invest करता है, जो angel fund होता है. Venture fund slightly different है. Venture fund can be a fund created by a group of people, और उसमें एक group decision लेती है where to invest, कैसे कहते हैं, first round और second round. एक ये बड़ा डिफरेंस है इन दैट। सरकार ने जो एंजल फंड क्रिएट किया है इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन उसमें ऑफ द टू, जो हम लोग सोच रहे हैं, अभी डिस्कशन चल ही रहा है हाउ टू मॉनिटर, हाउ टू आई वुड से प्रैक्टिकल में कैसे उसको हम लोग ब्लेंड करेंगे, वो हम लोग बात करें। जैसे आपने संजय जी ने कहा कि सबसे अच्छा तो उपाय वही कि कोई इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है उसके साथ आप जाइए, बिकॉज ही इज द बेस्ट जो कि एक्सपर्ट जो करने वाला है। वेरियस इसमें कहा जाए तरीके हैं जो कि वन कैन डू। बट दूसरा आपका क्वेश्चन था कि आईटी के अलावा और दूसरे में है कि देखिए वेंचर फंड हो चाहे एंजल फंड हो, लोग ऑलवेज जो पहले हमने बताया कि हाई ट्रेजेक्टरी ग्रोथ पाथ देखते हैं। आपका प्रोजेक्ट जो है एक शॉर्ट टाइम में इतना बड़ा हो जाना चाहिए कि इट कैन अट्रैक्ट अदर इन्वेस्टर्स। ये होता है कि टिपिकली जो एंजल फंडेड प्रोजेक्ट्स होती हैं उस फर्स्ट राउंड को दे सेल आउट टू अ वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट, जो एंजल दे मेक द मनी, जब वो एंजल फंड अपना पोर्टफोलियो बेच देता है एक वेंचर कैपिटल फर्म को। नेक्स्ट राउंड हो सकता है कि वेंचर कैपिटल फंड डायरेक्ट मार्केट में बेचे और सेल इट टू अ प्राइवेट इक्विटी प्लेयर, वो आ जाता है। देन द कंपनी बिकम्स बिगर, देन यू एक्सेस द मार्केट इन ऑन योर, दैट्स हाउ ये स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलता है। तो आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, हाई इट हैज टू हाई इम्पैक्ट, इट हैज टू ए हाई ग्रोथ ट्रेजेक्टरी, इसका पाथ होना चाहिए, दैट इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। इज इमटेरियल वेदर इट इज आईटी हो या कोई और सर्विस सेक्टर हो और कोई यूनिट हो, बट होल मॉडल हैज टू बी स्केलेबल। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट वो एस्पेक्ट।
Thank you, sir.
No, I think you corrected. Maybe the naming of the fund rather than angel could be made as early stage funding or a seed funding. So that would give the broader perspective rather than the
angel. Just
हेलो, any data infrastructure is available at special economic zone? Hello, any data infrastructure is available for immediate investment?
60,000 रेडी है।
कहाँ पे सर?
इसको मान के सामने, यहाँ से सामने जाएंगे 5 फ्लोर, 60,000 स्क्वायर फीट रेडी है। अगर आप कोई, आपके पास कोई आइडिया या कोई शुरू करना चाहते हैं तो
वहाँ पे वो सारी बेनिफिट मिलेगी जो एक स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन में मिलता है, जैसे नोएडा या गुड़गांव में मिलता है।
स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन और ये इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क में जो है पॉलिसीज में आपको डिफाइन किया हुआ है, शायद उससे ज्यादा मिलेगा, क्योंकि अगर सब चीज को डिफाइन करेंगे, यू जस्ट हैव टू लुक इनटू इट।
Anyone else, if would like to ask any question? Thank you so much all the panelists for patiently answering all the questions, and it was one of the highly interactive sessions. Now I would like to invite, I think the felicitation for the felicitation ceremony. For the felicitation ceremony, I would like to invite Shri Atul Sinha ji. Can we have a huge round of applause for Shri Atul Sinha ji? Starting with Shri SP Sinha ji, Chairman CII Bihar. इसके बाद आपको तालियां बजाने के लिए नहीं बोलूंगा, तो प्लीज तालियां कंटिन्यू रखिए. To Shri PK Sinha ji, Member IT Education. To Dr. Pritam from IT Patna. To Shri Virendra Arora ji, CEO BEST. Now to Shri Sanjay Nayak ji, the local boy, CEO Tejas Networks. I would like to thank all the panelists for being a part of this particular session, and would now request Shri NK Sinha ji to please come up on the stage. Now that we have come at the climax of the conference, I would now request Shri NK Sinha ji to address the audience with his valedictory and brief us with the IT vision for Bihar. Sir.